Welcome to episode 16 of our Road to 1500. We are currently on 1220. We've been putting in quite a bit of effort on our learning, doing puzzles, and we're seeing that pay off because we're increasing our rating. We're up to 1220, so we're heading back up to our peak, and hopefully we can get beyond that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a game of 1510. Let's see who we're going to get as our opponent today. I have a feeling we might get the white pieces today. And we do. We're playing a 1233 from Belgium. I'm going to play pawn to e4 as Lambeck. We're going to play knight to c3, see what our opponent does. Okay, so they do actually bring their knight to f6, which gives us the opportunity to play f4. If they take that, that's the Vienna Gambit. Now, there's some tricky lines with this. We are getting more confident with the Vienna, but I would say that we're probably feeling a bit more comfortable with the Caro-Kann. There's a few tricky lines depending on which way it goes when you're playing the Vienna. And it's a case of trying to remember what the best moves are. So our opponent takes, so they've actually taken the Gambit, which is kind of interesting. So our next move is pawn to e5. We are attacking that knight, and that knight doesn't really have many places to go. I don't know what it is about this Vienna Gambit. It just sort of gets my heart racing a bit. But we just need to stay calm and look to play the right moves. Right, our opponent has played knight back. Our best bet, I think, is to bring the knight to f3, because what we want to do is we don't want our opponent to give us any checks. So we do that first. Then we're going to be looking to... Okay, so they just come and challenge the knight, which is fine. But I think what I'll do is bring my bishop out, because we're going to look to attack this pawn. And that gives us an opportunity to bring this out. I was actually just looking at the Vienna prior to this. There's quite a lot to remember. Basically, you want to look to try and castle. We can bring this pawn up to here. Okay, so they challenge that. So we could bring this pawn up to here. If they take, we take. And if they take our queen, we can jump back with the knight. No, we can't, because that would put us in check. So hang on a minute. So if we come up here and they take, we take, and they take us with the queen, we need to move. We have to take back with that. I think I'm going to attack the bishop to start with. I think we've already gone a little bit out of move order, so we're just going to have to try to play solid. Let's see what they do. I think I'll take away from the center just because it opens up this bishop. And if they take this pawn, I will take their queen. Okay, that's interesting because they then have to move their... It does give them a strong center, but we've got the queen off the board. And now we can actually... There's quite a few things we can do. We can attack here. We can attack here. We can take here. They can't put me in check. I'm going to take this pawn to start with because I am threatening this, which would be a fork on the king. They're probably going to need to move the king. So my opponent is going to need to realize that they really need to move the king in order to stop the fork. So they've done that. But I think what we can do is just castle. And now we're threatening this pawn. Now we can take it here. We've got a lot more development than our opponent. Actually, I should have just taken there because they can't take me and I can just take the... Okay, so they've done that, but actually I can come here. They can't take, and I get the rook. So they've defended this pawn, but they seem to have failed to have seen I can actually take this. Now I can take it and then I can come back. I'm trying to punish them for their lack of development. And our opponent has actually resigned that game quite quickly. They've already realised that they're in a bit of trouble. So quite a brief game today, guys. We're up to 12-29. So we actually got 9 points for that. Just bring up the review. Okay, so we played a 87.5. Now there was only 12 moves in the game. We had a miss. Let's just see how we did in this. We played a 1900 rated game, but it was a very short game. But it's nice to see that we played the moves fairly correctly for the Vienna. Our opponent only played with a 62.8. And it just shows you how the Vienna Gambit can catch out players. Let's start the review. So we play the Vienna Gambit. We actually have a 56% win rate. We've played it 149 times, which is kind of interesting. They took, now my understanding is that by taking and going into the Vienna Gambit, we actually have about a 70% win rate. I don't win that percentage of games myself because I've been getting to grips with it. But it does give us quite a nice advantage. We play the best move. We kick the knight. That's actually the best move. Quite often players will bring their queen down and then we bring our queen up. But they didn't do that. They played the best move to retreat the knight. We played the best move to bring the knight out. So that's good to see. Now, they say this is a good move attacking. And actually at that point, I could have brought my knight out to this square. So it's saying that's the best move. So that's interesting. I'll go back and study my Vienna lines just to make sure, but it was good. We want to get that bishop out anyway. They played an inaccuracy. We did play the best move here, which is nice because I realized that we wanted to deal with this bishop before our queens saw each other. Otherwise we could end up having to move our king. They took, which was best. We took back. This was the best move, so that was the right idea. So I think it was just that earlier bishop move where we brought the bishop out, which was maybe just a slight wrong move order. Now, this is a mistake. So by taking here, our opponent gave away a plus 3.5 on that. So we're ahead. Now we could have actually sacrificed. Let's just show. Okay, so we missed a tactic there. We could have sacrificed the bishop. And as you'll see, the king can't take, because if the king takes, we take the queen for free. So I missed that, and that's something to keep an eye out for next time. But we attack with the queen. We should have just taken a bit more time to work out that tactic. But we're +3 up. It's forced for them to take. And then we play the great move with the knight. As you'll see, our opponent has very poor development of their pieces. Our pieces are way more active. So you can see why the Vienna Gambit, gives you quite a high success rate. So that was a great move. Our opponent played an inaccuracy. Now, this was our miss. So this was the one miss that we made, and it was because we castled before we took on this square, which is defended by the bishop. We realized this for the next move. They played a mistake, and it was at that point we played the best move, and we're sort of +5 because we're just getting ready to take this rook for free. And what we're finding is at this sort of rating level, opponents, if they get 3 to 5 points of material down, there's a good chance they might resign, which is kind of interesting because you can always turn the tables and come back into the game. But I kind of understand why they've done it. And it does mean that we have a short game today, but we're up to 12:29. Very pleased with that. Very pleased to win with the white pieces, playing the Vienna and playing the Vienna Gambit. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, comment if you want to join the conversation, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers. Bye.